the southeast will be a landlocked territory, especially our northern brothers who always want us to feel the same pain they are feeling. Because if Nigeria divides today, the north will be a landlocked country. Arewa will be a landlocked country. Yes, I beg to ask you, you who always threaten the Igbo people that the southeast is a landlocked territory. Are you saying this because you have historical amnesia, or because you just choose to ignore the fact that the Igbo, and indeed the southeast, has a navigable route into the Atlantic Ocean? Have you ever asked that? Have you asked yourself that? You think that the Igbo people, let's say if Biafra comes one day, you think the Igbo people will depend on the people in the south for import of goods and services into the Igbo hinterland? If those are your thoughts, then you do not really understand the geography of the southeast. The southeast are not in competition with people in the south to actually get a port of their own. It's just that the governors and the government of the day have decided to pay deaf ears towards developing a resource that is actually available to them. Yes, during the time of colonialism, because if you remember, the port in Lagos was founded around 1913. Now, prior to the foundation of that port in Lagos State, through which means the Europeans export palm kernel products outside Nigeria. Now, I remind you, or I will expose this to you, that there was a port in Ihiala called Oseakwa. This Oseakwa port was founded around 1904. It was through this medium that coal and other exportable goods were shipped out to Europe. Someone might think that this is laughable, but I will expose something to you, something that will be very shocking. The Oseakwa Seaport is about 18 nautical miles into the Atlantic Ocean. Yes, I said that. The Oseakwa, through research, has been found to be 18 nautical miles into the Atlantic Ocean. Now, in terms of depth and proximity, the Oseakwa Seaport or River Port, whichever one you choose to call it, is closer to the Atlantic Ocean than the port in Lagos. Oseakwa, like I've said, is about 18 nautical miles into the Atlantic Ocean. The port in Lagos is 60 nautical miles. When we talk about nautical mile, it is the distance from the navigable places, maybe the place big vessels can actually get into without encountering what's it called, maybe muddy terrain, underneath muddy terrain, right? Now, the Oseakwa is close. If Oseakwa is closer to the Atlantic Ocean than the ports in Lagos, then why are the government not actually developing it? Now, you look at another channel in the southeast, that is when you look at the Ulasi River, that is around Oguta. Do you know how many nautical miles it is to the Atlantic Ocean? Now, both Ulasi and Oseakwa provides a more natural harbour. That is a more natural navigable route than most of those what do you call it, port you have in Lagos and in some other parts of Nigeria. So why is the Oseakwa port, why was it abandoned? Because that Oseakwa port was abandoned around 1959. That is just immediately before the Nigerian independence as we have it today. It was abandoned for no justifiable cause. And most especially, it became entirely moribund immediately after the end of the Civil War. So when next you talk about the Southeast being very landlocked, you need to actually make series of research, make some fact findings before you come to say, yes, that the Southeast is landlocked, that if they get their Biafra, give them their Biafra so that they will be dependent on some other people. Do your research and you will find out that the Oseakwa Seaport is a navigable channel through which the Southeast can actually develop. And now the most interesting thing about it is that it will, if it is being harnessed or is being developed by the Nigerian government, it will serve a lot of states, Enugu, the whole state in the Southeast, and including Akwa Ibom. But the Nigerian government and even the state governors of the Southeast, in which the Oguta axis is located, and that of Oseakwa, they've been dragging their feet. If the government can actually, even if they say that the government do not have the fund to actually develop the Oseakwa port, they could go through a PPP, public-private partnership, give it out to a firm. It is also on record that the distance from maybe the US to Oseakwa is it takes about 19 days. Meanwhile, from the US to Lagos should take about 28 days. We have everything we need to develop in the Southeast, including a seaport. So anytime somebody tell you that the Southeast will be a landlocked territory, especially our northern brothers who always want us to feel the same pain they are feeling. Because if Nigeria divides today, the north will be a landlocked country. Arewa will be a landlocked country. The Southeast cannot be landlocked because it has navigable channel into the Atlantic Ocean, unlike the north. The Southwest, yes, they will enjoy the more because they've benefited marginally or greatly from the favoritism of the federal government. Everything has been taken to Lagos and then it's spill over in Ogun State and some other areas. The Southeast left largely undeveloped or underdeveloped. And then the Southeastern elite are very docile about it. Why not develop the Oseakwa port and then prove to the world that the Southeast is not entirely landlocked?